All right. It's another Maatsports podcast again this afternoon, and I'm here once again. My name is Musa Thompson, and together with me this afternoon we are having again Sebastian. Sebastian, good afternoon and welcome to the Maatsports podcast once again.
Thank you, Musa. Thank you, Musa. Great to see you too, my friend.
Yeah, good
I'm ready. I'm ready and pumped up. So let's do this.
Awesome. From the last episode, how has things been? How has everything been over there in Valkeakoski, Tampere, over there in the south of Finland in regards to football?
It's good. We're training with the boys, training normally now indoors, thankfully, getting ready for our preparations for the Premier League of the under-20s. And matches have been postponed now. The Finnish Football Association has postponed the start of the season due to COVID. So we're maybe first game now we're watching now. Our first game should be around March 7th against TPV at this time anyway, but we are living week by week. We'll see how the COVID situation gets better or worsens, and we have to just try and move with the flow in this situation. But we're training good. We're managing to train at least, so we are satisfied and lucky in that sense.
First matches for the Suomi Cup has been played over the weekend.
Yeah,
we'll be going through that, and also we will be talking about the Kakkonen teams, the Group A Kakkonen teams.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Like I said, they're basically divided into three regional areas. It's Group A, Group B, and Group C. And Group A consists mostly, you can call it the Southern Finland group, Southern Finland / Eastern Finland. And Group B is more Western Finland, and Group C is Northern Finland. These are the main areas in which the teams are divided. But that said, sometimes the Finnish Football Association makes some weird choices regarding which teams are placed in which group. For example, this season in Group A, Southern Finland, we have Kufu, who are located in Kuopio. That's, pretty northern. Central Finland, but on the northern border of the central Finland. So, they have some interesting long trips to play Kufu boys this season. And it's a constant debate. It's a constant debate whether which team should be playing in which group and why are we now playing in this group when we should be regionally playing in this group. But, to the best of their abilities, the Finnish Football Association tries to divide each team into, the best group possible so we could get the best outcome possible for these groups. So 3 groups in Kakkonen, and today we concentrate on Group A, which is the Southern Finland group. 12 teams each group. And 12 teams in Group A. 1 team gets promoted to Ykkönen and 2 teams get relegated to Kolmonen.
Quite interesting, the Kufu situation. Kufu has always been in the Group C of the Kakkonen.
Yeah.
And it's quite a surprising thing for me seeing them in the Group A of the Kakkonen this season. And this is, just like I said, this is one of the things that Finnish FA does that a lot of football clubs doesn't really like. Actually, a couple of seasons ago, a team in Kakkonen here in the north in Oulu, GS Hercules, were grouped together with some teams in Tampere. Actually, that season there were 2 teams in Tampere. So from Oulu to Tampere for a second division team, that was not a good traveling to make regarding the constraint in finances. But
that's about 600 kilometers one way.
Yeah, exactly. It was quite hard on the players, but at some point the players actually got to enjoy it because they got to have a feel of a Southern football also. And from that perspective, people felt like, okay, that was quite good. But from the financial perspective, it wasn't a nice thing for the clubs.
No. Unfortunately, like I said, those clubs haven't got a lot of money. So what they have to do is start traveling 4 a.m. Takes about 8 hours on the bus to get, to the game. You play your game, you jump on back on the bus, and another 8 hours back to Oulu or, whichever is an away game.
Yeah. So it's always an advantage for the home teams anyway.
Yeah, it's always an advantage for sure. Unless you have the money to travel in one day before, sleep at the hotel and then, be prepared then for the game.
Yeah.
Travel back during the night again.
Absolutely true. All right. So just like you've heard it, we are going to be focusing on the Group A of the Kakkonen teams today. And in Group A as well, we have a couple of teams. I think we have 12 teams also.
Yeah.
Just like in Ukkonen and in Veikkausliiga, there is 12 teams in Group A, there is 12 teams in Group B, there are 12 teams in Group C, so 12 teams each in each of the groups. And I will quickly go through these 12 teams that are in the Kakkonen, in Group A of the Kakkonen teams, this Kakkonen League this season. And we have Myllykoski Pallo 47, which is simply called Mypa.
Yeah.
And Mypa actually was the team that got relegated from, one of the teams that got relegated from Ukkonen last season to Kakkonen. And also we have FC Veipas Lahti. So that's from Lahti. And we have SC Kufu from Kuopio, just like Sebastian explained earlier. We have Peli Karhut. We have Mikkelin Kisats. We have Peppo Laperanta. Peppo Laperanta is a team that I probably will focus on because they have a lot. They have a lot in this division. They've been working quite a lot in this division for years now. And even last season, I from the stats, it was clearly shown that they have more financial resources than PK35 that got promoted. And unfortunately, they came out second in the league during the last season. So it's a team to actually look into quite a little bit more in this discussion this afternoon. We also have a Kuppulan Pallo, Järvenpää Pallo Seura.
Yeah.
We also have a Nurmi Järven Jalka Pallo Seura.
Yeah.
We have a Atlantis FC. We have our Pallo Kerho Keski Usima. And we have FC Kiffen 08.
Yes.
So, Sebastian, go through these teams and let's have your views, one after the other.
Well, like I said, you know, the lower we go down the divisions in Finnish football, the less I'm interested in the teams. So, you know, I know something about a few teams, but I don't know very much about most of these teams. But anyway, like I said, these things basically, there's the teams that were promoted from third division up are Pekka and Käpä, Käpylän Pallo and Pelikarhut. So it'll be interesting to see how these boys will manage. Käpä is a, you know, excellent team with good youth facilities and good youth products, always, you know, producing one of the best young players in Finland. And Pekka will be an interesting team to see, you know, how they're managing Kakkonen. Again, the style of play is very different. You know, the level of play is different between Kolmonen and Kakkonen. It's a big leap for these teams. Then we have a couple of clubs, like you said, Kufu from Kuopio. Last season, they were playing in Group C, in the northern group, and they were fifth in mid-table. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of toll the traveling will take on these players. For every single game, most of these games are located in central Helsinki area or southern Finland. Most of these teams, so you know they will have some traveling to do, these guys. So let's see how that will affect possibly their season. Then we have Atlantis FC, again from Helsinki. Last season they played in Group B in the western region, so to speak. They were fifth in their league. So again, you know, mid-table. The thing with Atlantis is they usually start the season, you know, well. Then towards the end of the season, they run out of steam, you know, and get stuck in the middle places. Is it due to coaching, or is it due to they don't want to be promoted? You know, they are possibly not ready to be promoted infrastructurally or this kind of stuff. Who knows the reason? But that's the story of Atlantis anyway.
Yeah, well, before you go any further, regarding this Atlantis, this is one team in Kakkonen that have a whole lot of foreigners. One of the few teams with a whole lot of foreigners in their team. That's something from Atlantis that all of our listeners also should actually know. It's a team that actually encourages a lot of foreigners in their team, and a very solid team as well. Yeah. So,
okay, after Kiffen, they were fifth last season in Kakkonen. Again, you know, let's see how they do. I don't expect too much about Kiffen. They're from Helsinki area too, so they have players, but most probably they will be mid-table again this season. Japs from Järvenpää were fourth last season. They will be challenging one teams that possibly could be challenging for promotion this season, at least in my books. Mypa, like you said, got relegated from Ykkönen last season, but I can't see them, in all fairness, challenging for promotion straight away, due to the fact that they have got now, you know, a financial kind of thing for their club. They have to, you know, even at the books. So they have consisted a team mostly from young players around Kouvola area. You know, no players getting paid anything for this season. So, you know, it's mostly consisted of, you know, under 17, under 19 years old, young players, young squad, pretty much like the EPV in Kakkonen. We go that, you know, next year. So, you know, they'll be looking to solidify their place in Kakkonen. They won't be looking to get promoted this season. They'll be satisfied if they can just keep their place in Kakkonen this season.
Okay.
Mikkelin Pallokissat were 6th. Like you said, last season they were 6th. Again, I'd be looking at basically around the same position for them, mid-table. Nothing special, nothing much. Then we go to NJS Nurmijärvi. They were 9th last season, bottom table again. It could be a difficult season for them.
Yeah.
Might be looking at relegation. Pepo, like you said earlier, you know, I'm one of the favorites to get promoted this season in my books also. They were last season, they were 2nd. They were just 5 points off the promotion place, you know. A bit unlucky, just run out of steam towards the end of the season, but this season I cannot see, you know, any team basically challenging. It's there for the taking if they, you know, if they want it.
Yeah.
I do believe that Pepo will be one of the front runners this season in Group A in Kakkonen. PKKU, Pallokerho Keski-Uusimaa, they barely survived relegation last season. They made a couple of acquisitions player-wise that, you know, helped them keep their place in Kakkonen. Now this season they've lost some players again, so it could be a tough season for PKKU again. They'll be most probably in the bottom half of the side. Pekapeli Karhut again, I think they'll get relegated. I don't think they've got, you know, the playing staff or the financial or the budget to keep playing in Kakkonen this season. Lahden Reipas, full of youngsters, full of young, talented players again. Last season they were 8th. But, you know, this season, the players are 1 year older, 1 year more experienced again. We could be looking at probably, you know, maybe even top 6 positions with Reipas. Not promotion, but they won't be relegated either with their squad. They have good young players there. That's my output most probably. So, like I said, Pepo will be challenging for promotion, and relegation favourites will most probably be Pekka and PKKU in my books.
Well, I think definitely we both have the same thought regarding who is going to be promoting this season and who's going to be relegated at the end of the season. But for MUPA, I was actually thinking before now that they might be thinking of going back immediately. So hearing you talking about them, that okay, probably they want to stay, they just want to have their stay in the Kakkonen.
They'll be satisfied if they can keep their place in Kakkonen. They're such a young team of local players now that they're building, you know. They're trying to balance the books now. They had 2 seasons now in Ykkönen. That was really financially, you know, hard on the club. They're not a rich club by any means. Last season, they got some, you know, independent funding that most probably might have even saved them from going bankrupt. So, you know, this season and maybe even the year next year, you know, it's just about balancing the books, getting the financial side of the club again stable, you know, and then pushing for another promotion when the time is ready.
Awesome. Wow, very, very, very interesting to have your views in that regard. I was already giving it to them that they will be just right there at the top together with Pepo in this coming season.
Of course,
remember you've made a very valid point, and I definitely think that they might be looking from that perspective as well.
Yeah, and also that said, remember that MUPA also got promoted with exactly the same kind of situation. They had, you know, a young squad with players who weren't paid anything, and they still managed to get promoted to Ykkönen also. So, you know, never say never with this kind of stuff. You know, miracles can happen in football.
Things really happen. Yeah, exactly true. Things really happen. So are you giving Reipas Lahti also some chances of promotion this season?
No, I don't think Reipas will be getting no chances of promotion this season. Only the top team gets promoted. So I can't see Reipas challenging for the top 2 position this season. Okay. Last season they were 8th. Like I said, a young squad. You know, they're giving players, the youngsters, you know, playing time, and they're the best players for Reipas will be playing at FC Lahti Veikkausliiga. They'll be promoted straight to the team. So, you know,
well, I was thinking in that direction.
Youngsters get some playing time. Youngsters are given good game time at a good, decent quality level in Kakkonen.
And from that perspective, are we giving Pep Jabs some kind of chances also this season?
Yeah, if Japs can keep hold of their best players, maybe a couple of acquisitions for sure, they'll be up there fighting Beppo for promotion.
Okay, wow.
I think so too. Yeah. If they can build on their good last season, I give them every chance of being able to put some pressure on Beppo. Yeah. But still, I think this season Kakkonen is Beppo's for the taking. Only they can basically lose it.
Quick cap on these teams in Kakkonen Group A for next season.
Yeah.
So now we have it, and now our listeners knows exactly what are the teams in Group A and what are the team, or which team we believe will be promoting. We are giving it to Beppo, and I keep my finger crossed on that one. I really hope they get it right now. They've actually financially they've been really, really strong for in the last 2-3 years that I've been following them.
Yeah,
they've been really strong. They've been one of the most financially stable team in Kakkonen over the last 2-3 years, and hopefully their financial resources they get the benefit for what they have been putting in over the years and get a promotion to Ukkonen after by next season, after the end of this season.
Yeah. Also, the facilities have to be up to a certain standard when you get promoted to Ukkonen. The stadium has to have a certain amount of sitting places. I don't remember, it was 1,000 seats. Plus, also it has to have lighting and these kind of requirements to be eligible to play in Ukkonen, to get the license to play in Ukkonen. So it's not just about the players. The infrastructure has to be at a certain level also before you get a license to play in Ukkonen, and that's also can be quite challenging for some teams from Kakkonen if they haven't got the money, to build their own stadium with enough seatings and lighting and etc., locker rooms and shower places, these things, and it can prevent them from getting the place in Ukkonen, even though they are promoted.
Exactly, and when we'll be talking about the Group C teams, then I probably have a lot to say because I'm up here in the north and I've been living here for years already now. So I think I have a data of almost every team in the Kakkonen from the northern part in my head. So I guess that would be my week of talking.
I can have holiday. I can have holiday then.
Exactly. So moving away from the Kakkonen teams, from the Group A Kakkonen team, let's talk about the Suomi Cup games that happened over the weekend, Sebastian.
The Finnish Cup started at the end of January. The first round was played, and the Finnish during before COVID time, there was this Regionals Cup that gave the chance for the lower league teams in Kolmonen, Nelonen, Vitonen, etc., to qualify for the actual Finnish Cup. A bit like the FA Cup in England, even the 7th division team have a chance of basically a romantic chance of winning the cup. But this season it was scrapped due to COVID. Yeah. So we only get teams from Kakkonen and above level competing for the Finnish Cup. And that has caused some mixed reactions, of course, just, losing the romance of the cup and so forth. And even then, the teams from Kakkonen play their own playoffs, and only the 2 best teams from these playoffs in Kakkonen get into the actual group stages then of the Finnish Cup.
Yeah, cup games already. Let's talk about the ones that were played already by the Ukkonen teams and the Veikkausliiga teams.
Yeah. Any interesting lineups there in your eyes?
What?
Any interesting lineups in that first group division stage in your eyes, in your opinion? What were the games you were looking for?
Well, it's the game against Lahti and FC Lahti and Oiko.
Yeah.
Was quite an interesting game.
Yeah.
Quite an interesting game, quite an interesting result. 2 red cards, an interesting game. Oiko got a red card.
Yeah.
FC Lahti got a red card, 1-1. Good game. Oiko played quite well in the game. And meanwhile, in the last episode, we were talking about Olusonya, which I was saying that he might be having most of his games in Ukkonen. He actually had a couple of minutes in the game for Oiko on that cup game. So that's quite a plus also for me. I really look forward to see more of him playing in the Veikkausliiga rather than in the Ukkonen. So that was the first game of the day, and that was an interesting game.
Yeah, the second game of that group, after Lahti Hoikko, you went through, then it was Helsingin IFK against KTP.
Yes.
KTP, and IFK managed to win 1-0.
Yeah. Newly promoted side, KTP. IFK, Helsinki IFK. That was not a bad game from KTP.
No, but then again, remember that Helsingin IFK have a new coach, new head coach. They have totally new players again in their team. This was their maybe second game that they played. Again, they are very far from the final product that they will be, in April.
Yeah. Well, I just
still they managed a clean sheet. which is always good. A clean sheet is always good, and promising. And they managed to score the goal that, gave them 3 points. So, that helps them getting forward in the Finnish Cup again and playing some more games.
Yeah, awesome. Good. Well, I'm looking forward to see Kotepe do more of their thing and get results in the proper league itself, because I felt like they showed me some spice of good football during this game, and I just felt, well, let's see what happens with them.
Yeah, let's see when April comes. They're total different teams in April. Every team will be totally
sure. All of the teams are totally different teams in April. Absolutely. Yeah. So in the Group B, we have FC Haka against EFCO Mariahem. Woo!
We dominated. We dominated, mate. We dominated.
Oh, right. Yeah. That was an interesting game to see. I was excited seeing Haka playing the way they played and having 3 goals in that game. That was quite interesting.
Yeah, 3 goals in the first half. They scored 3 goals in the first half. Yeah. But okay, in all fairness, EFCO Mariahem defended awfully during the first half. They were all over the place. They played right into our back pocket, so to speak, and Haka were ruthless. They exploited that weakness marvelously, and scored 3 nice goals, beautiful goals in the first half. I think Chidi assisted
2 of them, yeah, but I can't remember that he actually had a hand in the third, in the whole 3.
Yeah, but anyway, like I said, second half, EFCO Mariahem changed a bit, got a bit more into the game, but the damage was done during the first half. Haka had an easy game to control the second half of the game, They had 2 nasty injuries, one to Maxi and one to, Huhtanen, but luckily I think both players are okay now. Maybe not for the next game, but, not long-term, definitely. Short-term, 2 or 3 weeks side maximum. So, it was a good game, very promising from Haka,
Haka, let's talk a little bit about Haka. Haka signed a new defender now, Alison Undukaku.
Yeah.
Strong off in the air, good with the head.
Yeah.
I've known him for years already. Maybe we will be inviting him as a guest on the show someday.
Yeah, why not? I think he had a spell at Rops at some point, yeah.
And he had a spell outside Finland for a couple of years before coming back now.
Yeah,
I believe that's a good, wonderful acquisition in the defense line for Haka this season. And I'm beginning to feel like Haka could probably be in the top 6. Because if you concede less and score 1 or 2 goals, definitely you are somewhere within the mid-table in the Finnish league.
Yeah, and Haka's system of 3-4-3, is working pretty well now. They have solid back 5 if they need it. They have, good overloads in midfield. They have width, wide attackers, and the front 3 players, can keep it compact and tight, and be a danger in the box area with fast counter-attacking players. And there's goal scoring enough in that team, plenty of goal scoring talent. Huhtala, Salomo, Chidi, you name it, they have it. Okay. So it could be definitely a good season, yeah. So that was a solid start for my club. Solid start for my club in the Finnish Cup.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's talk about FC Honka Inter.
Yeah.
I was not surprised about the result anyway.
No. Challenging again for the Veikkausliiga this season. Most likely, I think Inter will be top 3, like I said. So it was a solid start for Inter. 2-0. Nothing. They don't have to do anything special. They did their basic work, basic day in the office, and managed to get the points away. Honka could be looking to be in a difficult season if they continue playing like that, but it's difficult to say. These are the first games for most of these clubs, this preseason. So we'll have to get closer to April to see, the actual teams.
Yeah.
Get ready.
Okay, so that's for Group B. And for Group C, we have Ilves Coups first game.
Yeah, Ilves Coups won 2-0 against Ilves.
Yeah.
The Coups front runners again for the Veikkausliiga in my books, definitely challenging for the title. Ilves have got an extremely young squad. They lost a lot of good players this season. To different clubs. 3 players left into European football. One to Denmark. One went to France. One went to Italy.
Yeah.
So they're a bit of again. It's a building process for Ilves, and they're far from the ready package now. And Coups have then again made some good acquisitions, many new players in Coups, a strong team with Valakari. Yeah. So, 2-0, basic day in the office again for Coups, they look much more ready than Ilves for this game.
Exactly. It looks more solid. All right, our newcomer, second newcomer to the Veikkausliiga, AC Oulu, SJK.
Your team.
Seems
Your
like
team. How did you do, Musa? How did you do?
Seems like ACOLU is beginning to feel some pressure regarding Veikkausliiga teams already.
Yeah, welcome to Veikkausliiga.
It's a 1-0. It's not a big goal margin. Unfortunately, no fan could go into the stadium to see any of these games because it's closed door games because of the corona situation. But yeah, from the reports heard it, at least everybody believed that ACOLU had quite a good game. Of course, Senayoki put up some shows and score a very good goal as well. So, but yeah, it's just like we have been saying anyway. This is the first game, the first competitive game of the season. I cannot judge ACOLU by that at the moment, but let's see how things go. But yeah, 0-1, ACOLU lost, and we hope it gets better. We hope they get results from the other games, which will be definitely very difficult against Cubes.
Yeah, you need it. You need it definitely, because as a just a team that's just been promoted, the longer you go on an unwinning streak, even in these Finnish Cup games, it will start to affect your confidence and the confidence of the team. Are we good enough? Am I good enough? What if we lose 4 games in a row? The pressure starts to build, and that will affect again negatively. Yeah. So, you want to cut that streak as short as possible now, If they manage to get, 1 win, but again, you're playing against Kups. You're playing against Ilves.
Exactly.
Tough games. Welcome to the Veikkausliiga, So let's see how things go. But like I said, hopefully you manage to get it.
The easiest team the team that I felt like will be the easiest for ACOLU in this group would have been Ilves. Yeah. Regarding the young squad that Ilves have now. And even at that, I'm not sure if Ilves will just be a write-off for ACOLU. But now if they've lost against Senayoki at home and we're going to Kups for the next game, if the 2 losses is coming in their first 2 games, then it might be a difficult situation to start getting the mental strength.
Yeah, the Ilves game could be difficult for you then, for sure.
Yeah. All right, so that's for the teams that are in the Veikkausliiga, the groups that are in Veikkausliiga. So let's go to the groups in the Ykkönen from the group D.
Yeah. Jippo Gnistan Mikkelin palloilija tämän klubi 04.
Yes. Let's pick it up from Jippo.
Okay, Jippo Joensuu.
Joensuu, newly promoted side from Kakkonen.
Yes,
actually, both are newly promoted from Kakkonen.
Yeah, both are newly promoted. Jippo against Klubi, so new teams in Ykkönen, both clubs, and Jippo managed to do 1-0, tight game, 1-0.
But actually, David, I watched the game and I felt ball possession wise, Klubi 04 actually had ball possession.
Yeah,
throughout the whole game, they had a very good. They had a very good play, very, very good play. Moved the ball quite a lot, moved the ball easily. The guys, the whole players actually knew what they are doing. I think they were just unfortunate to have lost the game to Jippo on the afternoon. But yeah, quite a good game from Klubi 04, but eventually they still lost. And it's only the 3-point that counts, not the ball possession.
So, all ball possession in the world won't count for nothing unless you can finish them off as goals.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so Gnistan Mikkeli 2-2.
Yeah, like I said, Gnistan almost relegated last season. Mikkeli, mid-table club, seems to be stuck in mid-table. Again, nothing special. I think it was a boring matchup and a boring result, 2-2, 1 point each. So nothing much to say on my side from the game, Let's see what happens. I don't think that Klubi will lose against these teams. But like I said, HJK gave some good playing time to some Klubi players. So, they were with HJK, the parent club in the Finnish Cup, instead of Klubi. So Klubi weren't playing with their most strongest team. They'll be, of course, focusing on this Finnish Cup and breeding in the youngsters, giving some playing time for the youngsters again. Because realistically, they won't be fighting to win the Finnish Cup. Because you can't play with people in the stadiums. You're not playing for, ticket money or any of this kind of stuff either. So, this purely for Klubi, just, playing time experience.
Yeah, exactly.
For the youngsters.
Okay, so to the group E, PK 35, Musa, Ekenas, Eve, and TPS. So PK 35, Musa. Strange game.
Yeah, 2-1. They managed to beat Musa. Musa were leading 1-0 to the very end.
That was nice. It's a strange game.
Yeah, seems like they had the game in their pocket, just, solidify, defend, clear the balls, keep it simple, win the game. But Echo 35 managed to score the equalizer, and right after that, they scored the winning goal too. So,
yeah.
So, I think Musa were a bit distraught after that result. They could have felt that they deserved more.
Of course, I think they deserve more. They played quite well in the game also, but they concede an equalizer, and in the search of believing that they could get another goal just to win the game and wrap it up, they all move up, and a very long ball from the goalkeeper, and Musa's goalkeeper left stranded.
Yeah.
And this was the story, and that's the so. Yeah. Anyway, it happens in football. I hope Musa learns from that.
Yeah, and, again, you have to learn to finish
the game. Always.
1-0, anything is possible. 1-0, anything is possible. If you concede the drawing goal, 1-0 stage, the advantage will always be on the side that scored the goal.
Exactly.
And it showed again, as Peko 35, they, capitalized marvelously. They got, some new steam into their belts. The guys were running, full tanks of energy after that equalizer, and managed to get the win. And it could be an important 3 points for PK 35 in the long run.
Yeah. And Ikenas, Eve, and TPS.
Yeah, a bit surprise results. TPS lost 1-0.
Yeah.
Yes, clearly, TPS were the favorites in this group. They should win every game, promotion favorites for Mykkänen. But again, it's a new team, a very new team with new players, and they will take time to, start playing like Dimpy wants them to play.
Yeah, sure.
That is just the truth. And like I said, these are just, friendly games from most teams, and TPS will definitely improve on their playing as the months go forward towards April.
Yeah. Okay, so that's for the Group E. Let's go to Group F, where we have Coca-Cola, Kopeve, VPS, FF Ropes.
Yeah.
So, Kopeve, VPS. During our last discussion, remember, I was talking about Kopeve quite a lot, and you are not giving them any chance of being in the top.
For VPS. I would think VPS were going to be the prize challengers this season.
And I took some time with that game as well, looked into the highlight a little bit.
Yeah.
And VPS actually had a good spell during the game. And Pat Casalo, I think during that game, not that I think, he was their best player. Good crosses, good moves, good runs. Definitely, I now understand why transfer market gave him the most valuable player in Kakkonen this season. It's obvious he is definitely good. But and he actually made the assist, a very good cross in which they equalized against Kopeve. But that's the same. Kopeve VPS 1-1.
Yeah, 1-1 draw game. Like I said, it was an equal match again. Both teams, you could see that they haven't played so much yet this season. They're still looking to get their playing style on the pitch, like the coach wants them to play. VPS have got a new coach again. It will take time for his new methods to sink into the players, but they have got a dangerous attack, VPS, so they will definitely be able to score the goals. Kopeve, again, like you said, it's a totally a team that is far from being the best Kopeve that they can be.
Yeah,
definitely yes. So 1-1, I think it was a good draw, good game for the first game for these both teams, and it'll be interesting to see the next game how it will go against Rops and against Jaro when they start to play against those teams. It will give a bit more results of how they're progressing forward.
Yeah, and so Jaro Ropes, the last games to talk about in this Suomi Cup game that happened over the weekend. That's a surprising result. Surprising result in the fact that Ropes was on a way to Jaro.
Yeah.
But not surprising because the player that scored the second goal for Ropes, Verte Hanninen, happens to be a player that Maatsports is really interested in. And that was a solid goal from an 18-year-old boy who was in Kakkonen last season.
Yeah.
And had a 90-minute game in the Ropes team for Kakkonen this season. So, but the truth is, I'm quite shocked that Jaro could lose against Ropes in this game at home. So things are happening already in this Suomi Cup. Things are happening. Teams are beginning to feel some heat, and hopefully they all get their asses together and prepare for the league properly, because Jaro shouldn't be conceding in this kind of a manner when the Kakkonen league really starts. That's my opinion.
Definitely, yes. Jarro have got a new coach again. It will take time for the coach to get the players playing like he wants them to play. This will be, it's a project, a long-term project, and they're not ready now, and they shouldn't be ready now. They should be ready in April. So as the months get forward, now we're getting into the interesting phase of the season. When preseason starts to turn into middle preseason, late preseason, and every month, every week we go forward, the teams will be playing better and better and better, and the differences in style and level will start to show more during each and every round of these Finnish Cup games. So the first round is mostly just a friendly game between each clubs. Again, we remember that realistically, Rops and Jarro both, they won't have any chance of winning the actual Finnish Cup. So it's not very high on their list of priorities this season, the Finnish Cup. It will just be some good games for the teams to start playing like they want to play when the season starts.
Yeah, exactly true. Exactly true. Actually, I was talking to a player that we represent in Musa after the game, and I told him that I think in the best interest of Musa, it's better Musa even try not to move any further from this league so they can have the time to prepare for the league properly. Just use these games to understand their weaknesses, know their strengths, know where to make things up for themselves before the real things really start. So
Yeah.
I think for a lot of teams in Kakkonen, this should be the trend.
Yeah.
This should really be the trend. They should just use these games to figure out where they are lacking, what they really need, how they need to put things together and get themselves prepared for the league when it starts in April.
Yeah.
All right, Sebastian. We've gone through the whole game that happened over the week. Kakkonen team, the Group A Kakkonen team, as well. So at this point, I think we've come to the end of today's podcast. And coming week, also, I guess we will be talking about the Group B, Kakkonen teams in Group B.
Yeah.
And we'll also be coming up with the results of whatever games that have happened in the Suomi Cup in the course of the week. Yeah. So, but until then, I'm still Musa. And Sebastian, do you have anything to tell our listeners before we go?
No, just thank you for your time, and looking forward to seeing you on next episode again. Keep in touch, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and keep those comments and, feedback coming. It's great to read the stuff.
Time here again, and